What is going on, guys? It is Rexsi here. Before we start the mid-season patch notes review, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we are extremely close to 100,000. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's all I had to say. So let's get into it. First, actually, there was one more thing. I know you guys on YouTube don't get to see Snowball as often, so I give you a little treat. Right, Snowball? Hmm? Say hi to YouTube. What? All right. Say hi. Say hi. He's like, hey, what's up? Hey, you guys want to see something cool? I know a lot of you ask about it. Snowball has thumbs. You see that? That is a thumb. See that, Snowball? That's you. You can skip past this if you don't care, but he actually has thumbs. I know a lot of people were asking about that. All right. Let's get into it. Sorry, I interrupted you from your nap on my suitcase, Snowball. So, before I begin, I do want to mention that when I do reviews on the patch notes, it's more based on my opinions and how they're going to affect a duel. So it's kind of a different perspective rather than just the typical, you know, conquest sort of over-analysis of that. I'm trying to explain how this could impact duel at all to the best of my capabilities. So I'm not going to spend too much time on skins, because the last time I tried this, it took oh my god, it took an hour, I think, and Charlie's birthday's tonight, so I'm going to rush this along. I got my coffee, I got my water, should be good to go. So we're not going to spend too much time on skins here. Sweetie Pie Soul, wow, they just recolored it? I'm assuming that's like a battle pass thing. So, yeah, skins, there's a lot of, I don't know, pinkish, bluish skins this patch I've noticed. This one's pretty cool. It has a really cool special. I didn't actually get to see this one too much, the Erling Shin one, but Sylvanas one I will mention is sick. Who You one is sick. I haven't actually looked into the abilities or anything, or how they look like and stuff like that. If I could breathe out of my nose, this would make this a lot easier for talking. Wow. But we got Chibi Zeus, this Erling skin. I hope it's cool. It looks pretty neat. But yeah, my favorites would definitely be the Serenos one, because in-game looks really cool. That's a Nemesis skin? Okay, alright, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Let's get into it. So, this is the mid-season patch, for those of you who do not know. Wow, they added a lot more bots. So, basically what this is in the middle of the season, there's a huge patch. And this patch actually has way more to it than Season 6 did, in my opinion. It added so much more. I feel like they should have started Season 6 with something like this, or something. Because there's such huge changes that are going to have a very large impact on the game compared to Season 6 where it didn't even feel like a new season, Season 5 to Season 6. Okay, so lots of bug changes, all that stuff. Project Olympus. Is this the Olympian things? So this is all the stuff that the Olympians figured out, right? Or helped with, I'm pretty sure. Game modes. New rank split. Split 4 begins. Soft reset. So yeah, basically what this is they're tampering with the TP system and the MMR system because there's been a lot of issues with it. Apparently people they're struggling to maintain certain ranks or even get to certain ranks, even though their MMR is way up here, but the rank is they're only progressing by one at a time. So they're gonna try and fix it. I know they're messing with it again. They tend to mess with it a lot, but I think it's because after 3 splits of these sort of resets that they've been doing, it's sort of been accumulating, and I think that's probably what's been happening, because the first few splits were you get matches it was a joke, and right now, I know GMs and Duel are losing it, really quickly. I mean, I wouldn't know, I'm not GM, I play 2 goddamn games a day, lately, so I don't really grind. So yeah, they're reducing queue times as well, I heard. I didn't really look into this. Rise. Reduce the queue time from 9 minutes to 7 minutes. More bans in all game modes. We'll get to that in a fucking second. Okay, so, okay, I gotta make sure that my mic is making sound still. I was a little worried there. So, 9 minutes to 7 minutes for Conquest, I'm assuming. I don't think that's going to affect Duel at all. I know they mentioned something about, yeah, quicker draft lobbies. Okay. Let's talk about this. Conquest, 2 bans, I don't give a shit. Joust, 2 bans, I don't give a shit. Duel, 2 bans. This is so stupid. This is ungodly dumb. This is so freaking stupid, in my opinion, man. You have no idea. 2 new bans does not fix anything. It does not fix anything. It doesn't change anything. The more gods are going to be added, yes, but that doesn't fix the whole balance of thing. I know Duel is like a hard thing to balance, but it's not like there's... The only people who think that there needs to be 10 bans are people who just struggle, like, in general, playing against, like, gods that aren't even to be considered, like, the highest of the high tier. In my opinion, I think there's maybe 5 or 6 gods that need to be automatically banned no matter what. I feel like if I really play a decent tier god, if anyone plays a decent tier god, they should have the experience enough to, like, deal with majority of characters that they consider OP. I don't think it should be to the point where we have 10 bans in Duel. Do you know how many? 10 bans. It's like a tenth of the gods. That's, like, insane. And also for me, what that means for my content is pretty much, if you guys want to request something, like, enjoy never seeing another Ullr video. Enjoy literally never ever seeing me play Ullr again in Duel. Imagine... Okay, no... I'm going to never be able to play Ullr again in Duel, or any other high tiers that you guys request, or for challenges and stuff like that. It's going to be practically impossible, which is another thing. It's like putting a band-aid on a broken bone. Like, it doesn't fix the problem. It just temporarily, I guess... I don't know. I don't think it's a solution, in my opinion. I could go on to this for a long time, but I want to move on. I really, really, really don't think that adding more bans is a good idea, at least for Duel. Just because, I mean, for Conquest, there's like 5 gods played, or 10 gods played in a game. In Duel, there's 2. It's still 10 bans? That is wild. That is insane. That's so many bans. It's way too many, especially the loading phase, too. It's going to take forever. Like, they're slowing it down, I guess. I'll look into that here in a second. Go to play LC, but the optional custom preview lower. Oh, so we can customize it. Yay. Okay, looks like I'm a customs main now, boys. Okay, so a common issues for players are attempting to play ranked is time investment for yada yada yada. Decreased pick time from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. Decreased ban time from 30 to 15. Increased bank time to 34 seconds. Okay, I guess that's fine, but still, I mean, I guess, yeah, that sort of solves the whole how long that takes. So, oh man, they don't have the pictures here. Maybe I can get like a Thurian tree. Is there a way we can see a picture of it? Well, I can't really find a picture, it looks like, of the actual tree itself. Tree itself looks sick as shit, I will admit that. But we're going to get into these items and how they are going to drastically change or affect Duel. Obviously, they'll have a big impact in Conquest more on some of them, but there is one that is obviously going to just be fucking crazy in Duel. So yeah, for the mid-season, they're adding a ton of new items, or a new tree, rather, but with like a ton of unique stuff specific to those trees. Like, they're trying to incorporate a bunch of different things into like one item. I like it. I like the idea a lot. I think it's really cool, and I'm really glad that they're expanding on this. Like I said, I think they needed more items in general in the game to make it more fun. So basically, they're just going on a different... These items are completely different from any other item in the game. And it's the tier 3s that we need to really talk about. So tier 1... So you can split off, and you can only build some of them in certain classes. Like this one, for example, is Hunter only. This one is Warriors and Assassins only. And then there's the Mages and Guardians only. So we'll get into that here in a second. Tier 1, Tier 2, not a big deal. These can be built on any character because it goes into these ones, obviously, but it gives a lot of cooldown, surprisingly enough. It starts out at 10%, and then there's like the power, bunch of power or protections, depending on which tree you go down. Start off with the Hunter one. We don't really need to talk too much about the actual stats themselves, like 20% CDR on a Hunter item and stuff like that, and power, crit chance. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal, but I mainly want to talk about the ultimate, because that's what's gonna take up the majority of this. So, this one is called Fail Not. After you finish casting your ultimate ability, your next ability cast within the 5 seconds that damages an enemy god marks them, increasing the chance that they will be critically struck by 15% for 10 seconds. Can only trigger. And this also... sorry about that. This also... they don't mention it here for some reason. But this also means that anyone in your team can crit them. So increasing the chance that they will be critically struck means for every single god, which is really cool, and every single creep and jungle camp and stuff like that. Like, that is wild. But the crazy thing about this isn't going to be too insane in Duel. I mean, obviously, people will find some crazy shit after a little while, but overall, in Conquest, this is going to have a much bigger impact. This isn't one of the huge ones. Yes, but like for Duel, there's like Nemean and stuff like that. There's so many workarounds, but in Conquest, imagine this. Imagine an X-Ball ult runs through an X-Ball, like, the other team's grouped up, and X-Ball ults, and then just fucking dashes through. Literally everybody will have their increased crit chance on the enemy team. That would be crazy. Okay, let's talk about the next one. This one is for warriors and assassins only. So 2,600 cost, 10% CDR. So this one is interesting. After casting your ultimate ability, reveal all enemies within 120 feet of you. So like in a circle, I'm assuming. While moving towards revealed target, you gain 30% increased movement speed. When a revealed enemy takes damage from you for the first time, they take an additional 40 plus 30% of your physical power. Enemies are revealed for 8 seconds, can trigger once every 45 seconds. Now this, I was talking with Barty about this. This on Thanatos, I could imagine being fucking insane. There's a lot of speculation and ideas that people are trying to come up with for different things, like what gods would be crazy with these passes and stuff like that. Obviously, everyone's trying to figure it out. I'm trying to think of, if you have any ideas as to which ones these would be crazy for, I'd like to hear them, because obviously I'm going to be doing videos on these and, you know, testing out to see which ones would be, you know, more intense on certain characters and stuff like that. So, for example, this one, wait a minute. How would that work on Uller? So you just have to time your stance. I don't want to get into that. Okay, yeah, you know what I mean. So, no matter where you are, if you ult, you will be able to see them. And you imagine popping your 2 Thanatos, ulting. Imagine how fast you would be. Holy crap! And they take additional damage. Oh my god. And then you could one someone for additional damage, like the combos and stuff like that. I couldn't even imagine. Like, Thanatos is a big one for me that I couldn't imagine this being not good on, which makes me excited. Okay, so, alright, let's move on. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Reveals all enemies. Not good in Duel at all, I don't think. It's just mobility, a little bit of extra power after your ultimate. I doubt it's going to get through to the point where it's overpowered and that's significant, especially in Conquest. If it is really strong right now or too strong, obviously they'll dumb it down, which means even so, it's not going to be nearly as strong in Duel when it already isn't nearly as strong as it is in Conquest. Okay, so this is the staff of that. So this one, 10% CDR, 100 magical power. This is the one. This is the one. Ugh. Lord, give me strength. This is the magical one. More to mages. After casting your ultimate ability, your next non-ult ultimate ability cast within the next 10 seconds will have no cooldown, but will only hit for 75% or 70% of its normal damage and heal for only 70% of its normal healing. Oh my god. Just think of the possibilities. Like, just go out of your way and imagine any god with this could. So basically, you use your ultimate on a mage or guardian. And the next ability that you use, for example, let's think of Poseidon. Imagine a Poseidon with Gem runs up to you, and he krakens you, and then immediately threes. Immediately after, right? With Gem. With Gem. And then after that 3, wherever you decide to go a little bit to that direction, but you're slow by Gem and you just get out of it, another whirlpool goes around you with Gem, and he has 2 fucking slapping you the whole time. That is just one example of what could happen. Or a Baron ults you, and he could double one. He could go bum, or boom, boom, just with 2 ones. Just boom, boom. Oh my god. Like, the possibilities are fucking insane. Like, how would that work with Morrigan? Like, imagine Morrigan ults. Does that mean... would that mean that if she transformed to a physical god, she could use one ability twice? Like, oh my god, like, imagine some physical abilities like that. I don't want to. Okay, so, the next one we have is builds from Night Shield. Okay, Available to all classes. This one costs 2,400. Oh, there's another one. Wait. Oh, this is the physical pestilence. Never mind. We'll get into that in here in a second. 20% CDR, 45 each protection. After casting your ultimate ability, you gain a large shield equal to your protections. For 5 seconds, when the shield breaks, either timing out or being depleted, it explodes and deals magical damage equal to 50% of the shield's health. Swing targets for 25% for 3 seconds. Can only trigger for 45 seconds. This one, another one I could see being insane in Conquest, but in Duel, just having mixed protections in general and it being magical damage. It's kind of like Thorns, whereas you normally don't really want to build Thorns against a magical character. So I feel like there's just too many workarounds. It's sort of like building a Mantle or a Magi's in Duel, whereas sometimes it can work in very specific situations. But I don't think it'll be built that often unless it's like very good on a specific thing that isn't discovered yet, considering, you know, it's not even, it's still the PTS. But imagine this in Conquest, though. Like, a guy has a Mantle, he has a Magi's, and he has this. And then he has beads. Like, oh my god, the amount of auras. And then I saw a clip of Fenrir ulting with it. Fucking insane, dude. So this is basically, this is Physical Pestilence. This is a very long patch. I want to try and, like, rip through this. Physical Pestilence, it doesn't have as insane stats, so I don't know if it's actually going to be used as much as Pestilence would be for anti-heal in Duel, because, in my opinion, Pestilence is okay in general, but it has, I'm pretty sure, a little more health, and it has more protections. So basically, unless you're building 2 physical defense items, which I wouldn't recommend building this as well, I get an Nemean and a cooldown play, I just don't think it's worth, considering you could just get a Beat Stick or a Toxic Blade, considering it's it's a one-on-one, so it's like specific counters to certain things. So I don't think like a Physical Pestilence with that, like, they even mentioned how the stats aren't as high. So anyways, let's move on. Demonic Grip. So Magical ADC is apparently really strong, so they are nerfing Demonic Grip. 2150 to 2300. That's gonna be a little annoying. So a lot of magical characters in Duel. The extra price increase, obviously. This one, wow, that is a huge change. I saw that and I was like, holy crap. 400 gold increase on Hastened Ring, but they increased the power a little bit, which is, in my opinion, quite a bit of a nerf. Like, that much for Hastened Ring. The item itself isn't even that insane compared to, like, another item that you would build at that point. Like, if you're going Bancrofts into your boots, into your defense, into your pen, or into your whatever you're counter building with, anti-heal, etc., etc. Getting the item online, maybe, like, late game, for example, on a Freya or something, but I don't think it's just worth in general. Like, it's just a crazy nerf. Reduced magical power per stack. No one really builds Doom in Duel. Not really going to talk about it. Passive Spear Desolation from 1 second to 2 seconds. Nobody really builds Spear in general in Duel anyways. It's kind of pretty much useless. 1% increase on Ethereal. Honestly, yeah, this is a bit of a sleeper item, like Ajax said. I think people probably should build a little more in Duel. I should probably build a little more in Duel. But it's very good, and that increase, the health stolen, will definitely be really useful. So I hope to be seeing a little more of this, because that item's pretty interesting. JDAP, nobody builds that in Duel, really. Increased cost from 2300 to 2500. I don't know why they're nerfing Katana so much. The haste effect should appear on more expensive items. Many gods. Yeah, I guess. But it's already hard enough, especially in Duel, for gods that are forced to stick with you, like Kali, for example, and Arachne, to... I mean, Bakasura is the only, like, exception. To get those items online to the point where it's, like, useful is usually, like, later on in the build, because there's so many core items nowadays that you have to build to, like, even counter things like Bancrofts and the Attacker's Blessing and the early game snowballs and stuff like that. There's just so much to it. I feel like this is going to be an annoying change for very specific gods like that in Duel. Decreased power from 20 to 15. It's kind of annoying for people in Conquest, but I love it. I don't like that item at all. In Duel, nobody really builds it that much anyways, and they'll build it even less because of that. They want to buff ADCs, so they decided to increase the... Sorry, my recording thing right here, it was giving me some message about video encoding, and it kind of scared me. I don't want this recording to just randomly die. After I'm so in depth with this. So they're increasing the attack speed from 20 to 25%. I like that. Pretty cool. Hopefully, maybe I'll use the item a little more. I only friggin' build Warrior Tabi. It's like the most popular item in the game. But maybe we'll see a little more. I mean, it's okay with Transcendence with the extra 100 mana. But I like just power, man. I'm a power guy, I'll be honest. But maybe we'll be seeing a little more attack speed in the meta, at least on ADCs. Because there's a lot of ability based in this meta lately. Increase the attack speed from Kins from 15 to 20. I never understood that. Like, the upgrade from Kins, or the second tier Kins and Execution and all that, it's 15%, so it doesn't actually increase, I'm pretty sure, for Kins. And I always thought it did, so it's weird that it actually wasn't. So, I mean, you don't really see much of Kins lately in Duel anyways, unless the opponent has a lot of health, which just isn't too smart if you're up against an ADC and stuff like that. For the most part, and there's just so many aspects of counter building, but maybe we'll see with the extra attack speed, it'll make the item just a little more popular. Cost decrease, not a big deal because it's, Duel. I like this. The Ichaival change, I'm a big fan of. I felt like Ichaival was definitely way too expensive. I wish they would have decreased maybe the price of the tier 1 of it. Because for now you can only get 3 potions, so it's like... But overall, it'll definitely be more worth of a purchase on people like Erlong and stuff like that. I still buy the item in general. It's a really good item. Yada yada yada. Thebes. Nobody builds Thebes in Duel. What about this one? Runic Shield 250. Or 50 increase isn't a big deal. I'm trying to speed through this. I'm sorry if I'm glossing over some stuff. I'm trying to focus on important items in Duel. Whose costs? That's actually a really good change. Wow. Yeah, Bulwark is definitely be picked up a little more in Duel. I feel like I need to build Bulwark a little more. I feel like I underrate it quite a bit because I just love Genji so much. I love abilities and, the reset. It's my preference. But against certain characters, or when you're playing characters that don't need cooldown as much and you need more health to work with, against maybe more bursty characters that you need to survive their kit with, might be the play to build a Bulwark nowadays. I think I just don't build it enough. I'm not a fan of this. Relic Dagger, not useful in Duel. AMC nerfs, baby! That's what I like to see. Increase base damage per tick from 9 to 5. Fuck yes. Decrease base damage from 60, or by 20, I guess. And the stages of it go down by 20, I guess. All the way up to 20, I mean, from 60 to, yeah, you know what I mean. Decrease physical power scaling from 80 to 70%. Of course, this isn't going to be enough to make him not played in Duel. He's still a ridiculously strong god just because his kit, but hey, I'd love to see some nerfs. So, they increased the range on shifting sands, like the cone around it, to 70 rather than 65. Oof. This is going to make Anhur quite a bit stronger in Duel, especially the frigging double increase in the early game. Good lord. Level 4 against Anhur is going to be a little annoying. I mean, late game is not going to change too much, all that much, but they're also changing the time of the impale, like to better fit the animation, sort of like they did with Uller, but not as drastically, which is going to be a little annoying for me because I'm very specific on flicks and like the timing on that, so it's going to be a little annoying to adjust to. It's not much, but it still might be a little noticeable. So they added like a targeter, like a straight line thing for when Anhur... I'm not going to do that again. When Anhur ults in a straight line, now there's like a visual thing which makes it easier. So, a lot of these Apollo buffs don't actually affect Duel all that much, other than, basically, to put it simply, each damage ability now adds 2 stacks for each god hit, which is nice. So you hit a 1, and it stacks Audacity for, the 2 stacks. And, yeah, well, the moves is just his 3. But what this means is that every time his ult hits you, each tick increases your passive by 2 stacks. So that'll be actually pretty decent for Duel. And they increase the buff and debuff from 2 seconds to 3. This is pretty cool. This is actually awesome. On her Ares is actually going to be able to clear in Duel because now it deals 5% max health per tick to non-boss minions at all ranks. And that's friggin' crazy because that means that he's actually somewhat going to be able to clear minions and buffs and stuff, so that'll be nice. So they decreased the cooldown of Chalk. That's his 2, pretty sure. So Chalk already has a lot of cooldown, which is crazy though. Like his new passive and the resets and stuff like that. That's definitely gonna be a little annoying. But the biggest change definitely is that his ult is now a knock up. It knocks you straight up instead of a knock back, which knock back obviously. When you were walking in a direction, say you get hit by a Hebo 3 or God, I can't think of anything on top of my head. Or a Chalk ult, if you're walking and you get hit by it, it'll knock you towards that direction. Sort of like a Bacchus jump. So now it's just straight up, which will be a little annoying for Duel because you can't use the momentum to your advantage when you're running and stuff. So they decreased the base damage from by a whole 10, especially early game. That one, I mean, I don't even use the one early game in Duel, so it's not a huge deal. So they fucked over Fafnir, which isn't really worth talking about in Duel, but just know they fucked them over. You can read that if you want. Freya decreased the range base damage from 16 to 1. Freya is already like barely played in Duel, man, but holy shit, that is gonna be shitty for Freya. I haven't banned her since her previous nerfs and her changes. Like, she's not worth banning anymore, 100%. She was the best god in Duel, man. That's crazy. So Isis now, is that her ult? It looks like her passive. That is her passive. Increase range. I forget what her passive is. Whoops. So now, you can immediately cast the, this God's 2. I'm not going to say it again because I just realized what I said. You can immediately cast this God's 2. And so immediately, so you can just press, and it'll immediately go off rather than have to wait that split second, which is annoying. So many crazy good changes, I will admit. So now this gives you a shield rather than mitigations. Or magical protection, or whatever it did. So yeah, you get a shield health. Increased potency per additional target hit. So wait, if you hit somebody with it, then you get a shield? Nearby allies. Oh, okay, so yeah, it goes to you. 80% potency. So Merlin's getting nerfed even harder. Love it. Love to see it. Like, now it takes longer to switch dances, I'm pretty sure, which is hilarious. Merlin is already not that great, so once again, never going to ban him again. Also, high-res, there's a space that goes there. Nemesis 3. This might actually change how good she is in Duel, maybe. The Reflect, basically, now does 50% automatically at all ranks rather than, you know, scaling from 30 to 50. And it increases the healing to automatically 100%, which is pretty nuts. That'll definitely help her early game a little bit, because getting to that late game is definitely going to be the struggle, or is normally the struggle. Nausea, I'm not a fan of this. So now, so I don't want to really talk about the subsequent damage or whatever, but they decreased the slow from 25% to 12.5, which only procs the 25 if you hit them twice. So if you're chasing someone as Nausea on Duel, and there's no minions, instead of getting the 25% slow to catch up to them, you only get the 12.5%, which is a little bad for Nausea. Nike, this isn't going to make her any better in Duel, really. Maybe a little bit. But her 2 now, so they want to buff hunters, right? Yet now her 2 is completely new. I'll just mention everything. So now they even added more health. I'll just mention what I know. Okay, so her 2 is now like a cone. Like, imagine an Athena taunt that's constantly there, and it's sort of just yellow, like all over, rather than just like the taunting thing. And now she just stands there, like holding it, and it pushes enemies back, but she's much slower. And also any enemy ADC or ranged basic attack, will get absorbed like an Athena passive, right? So that's pretty freaking crazy. And it's definitely a good change. I'm happy to see it. And now the leap is automatically at the fast speed. Nike definitely needed some changes though, and I guess they increased the ult a little bit. Odin, this is 2, right? This 2 is now decreased from 15 to 11. Olaron, no point in talking about those changes considering we haven't seen him in Duel yet. Rama, shift the damage of each successive shot. That's from. Ooh. Okay, so now his ult. Okay, well, I guess his ult just does a little more damage overall, but it makes it better for noobs who can't hit the first shot. Well, that kind of screws over people who can hit all three. Damn, poor marbles. Okay. Scotty, probably the biggest and craziest change. So fucking stupid. I don't know why they're doing this. So now Calder... So now Scotty gains, first of all, 10% increased power if Calder's dead. And, you know what Calder can do now? It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. She's probably going to be banned now, because when you have no... Like, your only solution when facing a Scotty is to get rid of the dog, right? And keep your distance, so that if they have to keep the dog at 1 HP to ult you and stun you, right? Now she can throw Calder. She can throw him when he's at 0 HP. She can throw him wherever she wants. And where it lands, every enemy is rooted. They buffed the living shit out of Scotty. And it's so stupid. I don't know why they made her so strong, but we are going to see her a lot in Duel now. And I'm not excited for that. I hate Scotty meta. Thor, some big changes. They fixed the glitch where you got a lot of phantom hits when you would have the rewind, or the turnaround of the Mjolnir. So his Berserker Barrage, now, to explain it simply for those who don't want to read all this, instead of just a constant spin that did like a sort of like a slowly tick damage sort of thing, damage over time, now it's sort of like an actual Bologna spin, whereas it hits 2 times behind you, but it hits a 3rd time in front of you, so you go spin, spin, and then smack in front of him, right? Rather than just constant spinning. Which I like the original one a little bit, because I like auto-canceling with it and fucking around, but hopefully this one looks cool. And now when he ults, every single time he uses an ability, it applies a new passive, which is a chain lightning effect. Also, the 3 does less damage, but it's less cooldown, which is cool. But now that the ult is like chain lightning, it goes from target to target, but it doesn't affect Duel because it goes from god to god. So... And I don't know if unless it applies on one person. But I think it only works if it hits another god. So I don't think that will work in Duel. Thoth, now his 1 does extra damage basically per 1 that he hits on the target. So if you get hit once by the Thoth 1, then it's gonna do more damage to you the next time. But that doesn't apply. It doesn't stack over. It's only the same target. Decrease cooldown from 18 to 16. Now you're not gonna be a big difference. And then the last and final change. Whew, that was a mouthful. Jesus, 32 minutes. Well, we almost did it. Now there is a delay after the charge of 0.3 seconds before the enemy is hit with damage. So now you can Aegis it without having to predict it. So now there is a sound cue or a delay, like a thing that goes around you or something, from what I recall, that sort of just warns you that you're about to be hit, so you can Aegis it in time, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, all in all, lots of changes. Way more changes than Season 6, in my opinion. Lots of good changes, a few bad ones. I'm curious to see how this plays out. I will definitely be doing tons of videos, tons of things, testing around and seeing, you know, what's going to be crazy, what's not going to be crazy. You know, if you have any suggestions for videos, let me know too. Combos, things with the new characters. Overall, Thor changes, pretty cool. Calder changes, fuck off. Nike changes are pretty cool. Nemesis, cool. This one, pretty cool. Haha. Fafnir, I'm sorry. I don't care. Yeah, that's gonna affect some things. Hell yeah. We got a... Okay. Fuck. And we got a fuck you. There we go. That is the summary of that. Items, biggest item changes. Ichabod is gonna be nice. Daxi Boots, pretty decent. Get fucked. Katanas. And rings. Get fucked magical ADCs. And the bands are stupid. These items are gonna be crazy to sum it all up. If you guys enjoyed watching the video, though, and have any thoughts, all that stuff, leave them below, like I said. If you're new to the channel, make sure you tap that subscribe button. I guess I'll show Snowball off for one last little thing before we hop off. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, though, and my opinions on the new changes to mid-season patch. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Want to say goodbye, buddy? Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.